Hey everyone, it is the beginning of a new month, the month of June. And because I'm a board member, I'm going to change this up just a touch and do a few more videos about the Windsor real estate market. Bear with me because above here on my desk, you see the things that I'm working on today. There's a lot of different computer things that I'm working on, and I have to ship some Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, really Hot Wheels cars here. That's on my list of things to get done this weekend as well too. Won't take me very long. There's just a few cars to have to package and ship. But anyway, that's just up here. So sometimes it's distracting. I know for me it would be distracting if I seen a classic Accord up there in a real estate video. Classic Accord is one of the toughest of all of the Hot Wheels. And that one is going someplace in the United States. I forget exactly where. It is missing its roof, missing its hood as well too, but it sold very inexpensively as well. If it had all those pieces, it would be a $500 or $600 car, maybe a $700 car. This one was a $60 car, just because it's missing some of those pieces. But anyways, I digress. So sorry to be distracting you with this, but we're going to dive into a little bit of information here. So as a board member, I'm sent different information. That's part of the reason for being a board member is it just makes me a little bit better of a realtor. It gives me a little bit more knowledge. So here at the end of the month, we looked at the month of May at the real estate board, and because they pull this information up, this is sent to me anyway so that I'm an informed board member. So at the end of the day, we'll see that sales activity for the month of May was 615. We sold 615 units. That's down 5.7% from 2022, down 20% from 2021, and up 40% from 2020. Think about 2020. We were in the middle of COVID at that time. So things were pretty slow at that time. But 2018 then down 15.2%, 2016 down 20.2%. So we are selling less houses. We just are. The market is a little different right now. Interest rates have ticked up, so we're seeing a drop in sales activity. Dollar volume, however, has remained strong at 364,000 as housing, or 364 million, as housing prices have gone up. May of 2022, we're down 11%. May of 21, we're down 15%. But May of 2020, when everything was frozen, we're up 116%. May of 2018, we're up 70%. May of 2016, we're up 104%. What that means, basically, is if you bought a house in 2016, you've made 104% of value off of your house because the typical house has increased 104.6% of value. Think about it that way. It's kind of a stretch to think about it that way, but it really technically is also that way. So those folks that bought a house back then, and when you think about it, that's when I built my house. My house I built for $260,000. It's now worth $750,000. So yeah, I have some really, really nice paper gains on my house. I'm not selling it anytime soon to capture those gains. We're going to be living here for a long time. That's why we built this house. New listings for the month were 1,198. So we do have some inventory coming onto the market. It's not excessive inventory. It's only a 2-month supply of inventory. That is not a lot of inventory. It's just a little bit of padding. It's like having a slight little bit of a layer of fat going into the wintertime. It's not like you're a bear just fully loaded with fat for the wintertime. It just means you have a little thin layer of fat to be able to protect yourself. It's not a bad problem to have at all. It's a bad problem if it's a lot of fat, but it's not. It's a thin layer of fat. 1,198 listings. Now, that's down 21% from last year. That's up 7.5% from 2021. That's up 62% from COVID. That's up 17.2%, up 7. So you can see the trend is doing fine with new listings. That's good. Building some inventory is a good thing. Now, active listings, we have 1,247 active listings. That's up 8.9% from last year, up 95% from 2 years ago, because 2021 there was just no listings because people were still in COVID. And then that's up 23.7%, up 17.4%, down 26.8% from 2016. So average sales to new listings ratio. So sales to new listings ratio, 51.3. That means that we're starting to build a little bit of inventory. That's all that means. 40, 42, 69, 59, 70. This is a low number compared to these other things. That's actually a very, very good, strong low number. Months of inventory, there's that months of inventory 2.0. So we've got 2.0, 1.8, 0.8. That's why you can see how demand was really, really strong in COVID, and we didn't have any supply in COVID. 2.3, 1.5, 2.2, 5.0. So we're really right in our sweet spot of months of inventory. 2 months of inventory, not a big thing to be carrying around. Average price, look at this. This is that valuation thing. That's why so many people don't need to work anymore. They could just live off the value of their house. $591,918,000. So the average price of a house in Windsor, Essex County was $591, because this looks at the whole county as well too. Windsor, Essex County, yes, okay. And then 2012, down 5.7%. So we've only lost, so somebody that had a house that they bought in 2022, that valuation has dropped 5.7%. Somebody bought a house in 2021, that valuation has dropped 7%. Now, these are not additional to that. They're on average. Okay? So here in 2020, valuations have increased 54% on average across Windsor, Essex County. Median price, this is more of a correct number, is $533,500, median price. So if somebody calls me and they say, hey, I have $500,000 to spend, and I've got some of those clients right now, that's a good number. We're going to need most of that, depending upon the house that they like, but that's a good number. And then sales to list ratio is 100, sale to list price ratio. So average over, what that means, average over bid, 109.6. So about 9.6 over is what we averaged in the month of May. So some houses sold less, some houses sold more, some houses sold way more, some houses sold way less, not really way less. We didn't really do any way less stuff, but average 9.6%. Last year at this time, the average overbid was 32.9. 2 years ago, the average overbid was 34.8. Then 5.6, 4.2, a little bit less, and a little bit less. So as the market strengthened, you see this number going up. Now it's coming back to its mean, which is good, because that means that realtors are doing a better job of pricing houses at their market value as well too. There's a lot of different things that factor into this number. And then median days on market. I have a listing appointment. The gentleman looked at me and he said, what do you mean that you'll have this house sold in 7 days? I said, I'll have the house sold in 7 days. I feel pretty confident that as long as we do the marketing things that I want to do for them, and I have a different marketing strategy for all of this, but as long as we do the things that I want to do from a marketing perspective, I feel pretty confident that we'll be able to get your house sold for a decent number that you will like in 7 to 10 days. So here's the proof: 10 days, 9 days, 8 days, 10 days, 11 days, 15 days, 35 days. So you can see how as more and more retirees are moving here, as more and more Canadians are moving here, and this is definitely indicative of the government, as the government brings more immigrants into Canada, you are seeing that they are coming in and they are buying houses, and that is taking down our average selling price, average selling market time on the market. As more and more folks move to Windsor for our beautiful weather, it is like 83 degrees, nice little breeze out today, a little bit of clouds coming in. We might get a thunderstorm or two, who knows, but they're kind of high clouds, so nothing to be worried about right now. So looking at year-to-date, sales activity year-to-date, this factors in all of the months, including May. Sales activity 2,217, 2,217 houses sold so far this year. That's down 30%, down 33%, up 7.2, down 15.2, down 25.3, down 3.9. You can see that our sales activity has slowed a little bit. It has. but our days on market is still strong. Very short. But sales activity, dollar volume, 1.228 billion. That's down 42%, down 29%, up 61%, up 64%, up 89%, up 203%. So you can see that if we factor out the COVID years, we're actually doing exceptionally well from the concepts of our dollar volumes. That's also the concept that our pricing points have doubled, tripled, quadrupled over that time period. And so this is a very, very strong number. You can see how, because the dollar volumes are so high, realtors are making a ton of money, and that's why more realtors or more people want to become realtors. The concept is that, gee, hey, if I sell a house, I get paid $20,000 for it. I want to go sell some houses. It doesn't really factor in that way when I sell houses because of my marketing plan. I do it a little bit differently. I don't care about the money part of it. That's what I do differently. I don't care about it because this will continue to keep growing and I will continue to make money. It's okay. I plan on being a realtor for the rest of my life as well too, and it does get easier the longer that you're a realtor, so I can do some different things from the concepts of commissions. New listings, we've had 4,362 new listings. That's down 15%, up 3%, up 32%, up 25%, up 4%, up 1%. So you can see that we are building a little bit of inventory, 2.0 months of supply. That's where you'd otherwise expect to see this number as well too. Then looking at active listings, we have 1,083 active listings right now. That is up 68.6% from last year, up 116.6% or 8% from the COVID years, up 19.6%, up 17.1%, down 29.2%, and down 58%. So as you can see, these were bad economic years, and we have recovered really, really nicely. Sales to new listings ratio, 50.8, right on the median average, which is awesome, and stronger than where we've been through time. Months of inventory, again, year to date 2.0, 1.0, 0.7, 2.2, 1.8, 2.6, 5.6, right in our median months of inventory. All of that is all good. Average price, $554,000. This is the yearly, down 17%, up 5.8%, up 51%, up 93%, up 154%, up 216%. So again, you can see if somebody held a house, bought a house in 2016, they're holding it now, they have roughly 154% of gain in the value of their house. So if they bought their house for $200,000, that means that that house is worth about $450,000, which is spot on, correct, if you look at the house. House by house by house. Some houses are a little bit more, some houses are a little bit less, but spot on, pretty much spot on, correct. Median price $504,000, down 18%, plus 6.8, plus 47, plus 93, plus 166. Again, so you can see that even our median price again holds true. Sale to list price ratio 100.6, 137, 129, 109, 103, 98. These were under the sale price. These are over. And again, you're seeing that we are still overbuying our houses. Median days on market 12, 8, 8, 10, 11, 19, and 41. All right, spot right on with exactly what we've been otherwise expecting. Then they give us some wonderful charts. Single family. So that was duplexes and all that information here. But single family, to share with you, 612, 555. And if we look at single value pricing points, they have done exactly the same as what the other video was. As far as months of inventory, 1.9 months of inventory on single families. Median days on market 10 days. If we look at it for the whole year, exactly the same data points, 12.0. Median price 521. Months of inventory 2.4. All of that is all good. Again, the handy dandy charts. Looking at single family homes, this gives us a little bit of a breakdown of what's sold and what pricing points. You can see that if you have there was one mobile home that sold in the $60,000 to $79,000 price point, 0, 1 from 100 to 119, 0, and 120 to 135, 0 and 140 to 159, 0 and 160 to 179, 1 and 180 to 199, 3 in 200 to 219, 5 and 220 to 239, 3 and 240 to 259, 8 in 260 to 279, 9 in 280 to 299, 3 and 300 to 399, 22. All of a sudden, we jump to 22. So when I talk to people and I say you really need at least $300,000 to buy a house in the city of Windsor, it is very tough any other way. This is where you see this, 320 to 339. So that $20,000 range, we did 22 houses. 18, 22, 14, 21, 31, 40, 51. This is our sweet spot. 60, 53, our sweet spot. 50, our sweet spot. 33, 29, 33, 33. This is that raised ranch. He seems to think it's an $800,000 place. I think it's somewhere between here and here is its sweet spot, but he thinks it's this. And we'll see whether he's right or not, or whether I'm right or not. I'll see whether I get the listing or not. 42, 22. Now, we had used to only sell 1 or 2 in the $1 million price point, but now we're selling 22, and 19, and 9, 1.4 plus. We don't go any more than that. 11 goes into the next layer, which is more than really at the end of the day. So you see how we are $330,000 plus, makes it a little bit easier, which again, you see here, that's $32 million. That's for the month of May. Then we look at where we're at with listings for the month, 1372, 1755. You can see listings are coming down. This is also exceptionally important. This data here is exceptionally important based upon style of house. So if you're looking for a bungalow, how many bungalows have sold in the month? 126 bungalows sold. What was the average selling price of a bungalow? $502,000, which was spot on with what our average selling price is. Our average selling price is actually $616,000, but a bungalow is going to be a little bit less because a bungalow is a little bit smaller, a little bit older too. A 2-story, 89 units sold $788,000. That's the average selling price of a 2-story in Windsor, Essex County, $788,000. A ranch, 80 of them sold $641,000. Spot on average. I just seen an average ranch yesterday in LaSalle. Now, it's underpriced because LaSalle ranches sell for more because it's LaSalle, but it is less. And then fourth, 1.5-story, 67 of those sold $475,000. That's, hall, inner city types of houses. That's what we have in the inner city, and they do sell for slightly less. And then a raised ranch, ding, 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 that raised ranch that I'm trying to get listed, I would love to earn the listing. He seems to think it's worth $800,000. The average selling price for a raised ranch has been $680,000. If you looked at this number historically, it has been that. It was that 2 years ago. It is that right now. There is certain people that just aren't looking for a raised ranch. They will not want, I don't want a raised ranch. It's too common to buy it. It's a beautiful raised ranch he has. Don't get me wrong. It is beautiful. And that's why it would be above this average selling price. But they just don't get to $800,000. They just don't. And maybe his does. I'd have my work cut out for me if I have the listing, and hopefully I earn the listing, because hopefully we can test that to see if we can't get there. And can we get it appraised? That becomes the other question. Because if the person that's buying his raised ranch is only putting 5% down, then that appraisal is exceptionally important. It's exceptionally important. And if they're putting 20 or 30% down, then the appraisal is not that important. Again, market activity, average selling price, 567, 520 median, right on, spot on. Now, last year we were 685, we're 567, so that's $120,000 less average selling price this year compared to last year. Down 17.18%, average selling price. So yeah, there's been some market turmoil, but we're rebuilding fine. Everything is all good. Now, this gives me what people are searching for and what has sold and what the requirements are at least. This is a baseline for that. So again, just wonderful data to be able to have. Part of the reason I am a board member makes me a better realtor for all of those folks that are thinking about. And then I'm apartment market, how many apartments have sold, all of that kind of stuff. This is good data for my friend. I can use his first name because, V, you know who you are. And good data from that, what's going on with the market, what's pricing points doing here. As you can see, if I flatten this out, average selling price is $385, median price is $359, and that really is per unit type of thing, the information to be able to look at. So if you're looking at a duplex, duplexes, all of that stuff, it's all doing good for families. A little bit of a skewed information there. You can't really count on it too much. Home price index, benchmark price, composites 567, single family 618, one story 596, one story 596, two story 649, townhome 408. Now townhomes, there's been some new construction, small townhomes, very, very small townhomes, 1,000 square foot townhomes. Those are priced a little bit less. I just showed a townhome yesterday, beautiful, stunning townhome, 1,350 square feet at least, if not more, because it does have more living space that's been added to it, and it will probably sell for somewhere around, I really can't say because we're going to have an offer on that one. Apartments, again, 377. So gives you some kind of an idea. The background there as well too, as we hurry up and try to get through this video in a short period of time. It is a lot of information. I am talking like an auctioneer to be able to get through this. Townhome market, very, very interesting. I've got a client again that we just seen $1. So $4 million worth of townhomes have sold. That's down 27%, down 39%, up 36%, up 7%, because townhomes are very important. I specialize kind of in townhomes. I'm living in a townhome right now. Only 12. It sold in May. New listings, 35 of them listed, active listings 32, so there's been some that have canceled. 32 active listings, sales to new listings ratio 34.3, months of inventory 2.7. So we do have a little bit more townhome inventory right now. That makes it a little bit easier for our senior citizen clients to be able to move from their house to a townhome to be able to free up that house for other Canadians to be able to buy. We're working very, very hard on this, by the way, in the real estate board to be able to give people other options. The more we move our senior citizens out of their lifetime house into a nice, comfortable townhome, the more that we free up that house for another family to move into to be able to grow their family. So it's very, very important. Average selling price, average price, 380s. I don't know where this number comes from. This seems kind of skewed. 368, because I don't know any townhomes that sell for this at all. Well, I sold the one on Vine that was technically a townhome that sold for $347, I think it was. So maybe that's where that's coming from. That's coming from all of the units. Maybe we sold a lot of units maybe on Vine and on Briarwood for the month, and that would be why this number would be lower. And maybe we didn't sell, or we didn't have any release. And it's really true too. We don't have any new releases of townhomes coming up. They're building them slowly right now. Year to date, we've got 56 townhomes that have sold year to date, 24 million. New listings, 154. Active listings, just 33. So we've sold, and about 70 of them have been coming off the market, it looks like. Months of inventory, 3.0 months of inventory. Average price, $439. That's more in line. You really can't find a $439,000 townhome in this area. It is very, very difficult. You really need about 500. The least expensive townhome that I've sold so far was one on Clover that I sold for $500,000 to my client who was coming in from Toronto. And a sale to list, median price, you can see, again, townhomes are on Vine and Briarwood as well too. And that's kind of skewing a little bit of that data. So that's the data set from the real estate board for this month. I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of every month as well too, to be able to give you really good data. I'm going to talk like an auctioneer as I go through it, and to kind of run it down and break it down for you. That way it's great data. This is phenomenal data for you as a home buyer, and it's great data for you as a home seller to be able to understand. You can't beat the market. It just is what it is. Now, yeah, every so often you can buy NVIDIA before earnings and get an $80 pop. You can, and they do happen. Don't get me wrong. But that's the lottery. And there's some risk with that. So the market is the market. So that's it for this video. I'm going to go in, I'm going to print out this week's sales as well too, break them all down for you and do that other video as well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about real estate, you would like to list your house, you need help buying a house here. It is a little bit busy right now going into the summer months. It is. I've got some things on go, but that's all good. I have plenty of time to be able to try to help you as well too. And I would love to have the opportunity to be able to help you. All you have to do is reach out to me. I'm not going to bug you. I really kind of need you to, because I'm crazy enough busy with all the volunteer activities and all the other things that I do. You can call me, and the new store opening up and all that stuff, that's all coming for this month. You can call me at 519-995-6145, 519-995-6145, and we'll dive in and get you a perfect house here in Windsor, Essex County. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.